Hi, guys. I'm Dr. Whitney. I'm a pediatrician, I'm a mom, and I'm the author of My One of a Kind Body. And today I want to talk about toxic body positivity. So, what is toxic body positivity? It's this idea that we have to be so rigid and so on in terms of loving our bodies at all times, being totally positive at all times, that we don't give ourselves the space in the room to be human about our negative feelings that we all feel sometimes around our bodies. Body positivity started as a movement that was all about liberation. It meant that all different body types were okay. But sometimes when body positivity people talk about loving your body, they talk about it like there's absolutely no room for that chatter that happens in our minds. And the reality is, most of us still have that. So, what do we do about it? What's the alternative? I would like to propose body confidence and body literacy as tools that we can give our kids that are much more authentic and much more kind to themselves and to their humanity. So, literacy means understanding what their bodies do, how they function, and what they need to be successful over time. So that means if a person is feeling bad about their body, man, I don't like this cellulite that I have, or I don't like that my belly is a little bit bigger. You try to shift the conversation to say, that makes sense. We live in a world that's full of body ideals that are unrealistic. There's still diet culture that's out there, especially in the world of kind of fitspo and in terms of wellness. But what we want to focus on is actually what our bodies do for us. How do our legs help us to run? That cellulite's not the issue. It's can we get up the hill, right? So, trying to change things around for our kids to make it much more focused on function and much less focused on appearance over time. That's what body literacy is. Also, having the idea of exercising and of nourishing our bodies be about function for them as opposed to about appearance as well. So I'm not moving because I want to look a certain way or be a certain size. I'm moving because I want my heart to be strong. And that way I can race up that hill with my friends. I can go on that bike ride. I can do that really fun thing without getting so tired, so winded, having so much pain in my muscles that I don't even want to do it anymore. Secondly, when you think about body confidence, to me, that's about developing the idea that when I have a negative thought about my body or when I think about something that's negative, that I can give myself a lot of compassion for that because of the world that I live in. So I know that, for example, I grew up in the 80s and the 90s, and there were rail thin models. There was America's Next Top Model. There was The Biggest Loser that was coming out when I was at that age. And so I know there are a lot of messages that are stuck in my mind. So if I have a negative thought around my body, like I wish that I was a lot smaller, instead of thinking, no, just be positive, I try to do this. I use mindful self compassion. And mindful self compassion looks like, man, I recognize that I'm feeling bad about my body. I validate that feeling. That makes a lot of sense. I've had a lot of messages that have come at me throughout the years. And then I have some common humanity. I bet I could fill a coliseum full of other women, other moms who feel that exact same way as I do. Now I've had that moment to pause, to think about why I'm having that thought, and then I can make a decision. I could get angry and kind of have that fierce self compassion, like, oh man, that's so messed up. I'm not going to let that define me. I'm going to be super positive today about my body. Or it could be, yeah, okay, that sucks. I'm just going to have this bad moment today, and that's all right. Or I could be, okay, I want to try to treat myself a little kinder then, give myself a little bit of a break when I have those negative thoughts because it makes so much sense. And this is going to take a lifetime for me to get over. Similarly, with our kids, when they come to us with bad feelings about their bodies, they don't like the zits, they don't like the mark on their body that is different than other people. A lot of times that makes a lot of sense. Kids are cruel. So it's not just in vain or something we need to throw positivity at. We can do a lot of self compassion with our kids and teach them to have that. That makes sense that you don't like the acne. The acne makes you feel bad. Kids tease you sometimes about that acne. That makes sense that you have that feeling. I bet there's lots of other kids that have acne that feel that exact same way. And then let them respond. How are they going to do it? Okay, am I going to use a little bit of cover up today? Or am I going to use a wash that's going to help me with some of my acne to have it be less approachable, less kind of out there in your face? Or am I going to say, okay, you know what? This is part of being a teen, and I'm going to just give myself a little bit of grace that I have this and that I feel this way. There isn't actually one right response for how to do it. Depending on the day for your kids, they might have a different response. But Having that self compassion allows them to respond instead of react to that feeling that they have and to make a decision that works well for them, that's intentional in them.